Are you thinking about buying or selling a home in Lake Geneva or the surrounding areas? Well, with mortgage rates hovering at about 6.5%, the way you shop or the way you price can make or break a deal. And I have a quick story to prove it. So let's dive in. First, let's talk about absorption rate. Sounds fancy, but all it means is that if no new homes came on the market, how long would it take for the current demand to absorb all that inventory? And right now, Warwick County, we're sitting at about 4 months of inventory, and in Lake Geneva, 4.78. So we're still in a balanced market and getting even more balanced and closer to a buyer's market. For sellers, what this means, with mortgage rates at 6.5%, buyers are very value conscious. If your home is overpriced, it is going to sit. For buyers, that means you've got options, but you're also balancing options against higher monthly payments. And it also depends on your price point. If you're in a sweet spot where there's a lot of inventory, it also means you have a lot of competition. And I'll show you what I mean in a bit. But if your price point is above $650,000-ish, you do have a lot of options and you don't have a lot of competition. So it's a dichotomy of a market. Here's what I mean. It's dichotomous and it's nuanced. These two graphs show that the number of listings in Warwick County and in Lake Geneva, they're steadily on the rise, and they're pretty high right now. Coming to this graph, this was the amount of homes sold in August in the Warwick County area. You can see the concentration of it is between $300,000 and $650,000. The homes priced above it, not a lot of demand. The homes priced below it, it looks like there's not a lot of demand, but there's just not a lot of inventory of it. So this is what I mean. This is what's available. Not a lot available below $300,000, but look at how much is available above it, and especially above the $650,000. So the sweet spot of buyers and sellers are between $300,000 and $650,000. If you're above that price range and you're a seller, you can sit for a very long time with no activity because there's not a lot of demand for your home right now. And that's especially if your home is overpriced. So here's a quick yet true story. We had a buyer, he was very motivated, looking for a home between $750,000 and $850,000. They found a home listed for sale for $879,000 that had recently dropped its price from $899,000 after 30 days on market. But the comps, when I looked at it, it showed that shouldn't be priced more than $840,000. So we made a fair and appropriate offer, but the seller was emotional and a bit stubborn, and they only dropped the price down by about $5,000. And this went back and forth a couple times. My buyers came up a lot higher than the sellers were coming down. So I told my clients, you know what, there are plenty of fish in this lake. Let's move on, let's shop around. Sure enough, a few days later, we found another home that was priced appropriately. We wrote an offer, and it was accepted the next day. Easy peasy. The moral of the story? Sellers, if you let your emotions cloud your judgment of the price valuation, your home risks sitting, especially going into the winter months. And if you're in that higher price range, at 6.5%, buyers are not going to stretch just because a seller feels like their home is worth more than it actually is. Smart pricing is going to win the game. Next is days on market, and this depicts demand. The normal range in Warwick County is between 40 and 60 days, and right now in Warwick County it's about 56 days. So it's at the high end of the range in the month of August. In Lake Geneva, it's showing that it's about 5 days on market. I think that's an anomaly, so we're just going to track that for next month. But what this means overall for sellers, if you are going into about 60 days on market since you've listed with no offers and very little showing, the market is giving you feedback, and the feedback is probably about price. For buyers, the longer days on market, the more negotiating power you have. So the sold to list price ratio, this tells us on average if homes are selling above asking price or below asking price. Right now in Warwick County and in Lake Geneva, it's at about 96%, which is actually really good in the face of rising listings and days on market being at the high end of the range. So this is really strong. Anything above 92%, I'm good with that. So once we start seeing below 92% and listings going up, the number of listings going up, then we want to start worrying about seeing that buyer's market. What about the median price of homes sold last month? We're in Walworth County. It was $430,000. In Lake Geneva, $622,000. Here's where the Lake Geneva and surrounding area real estate market is at. Sellers, price your home with your head and not your heart. A realistic price is going to get you sold faster and closer to your asking. At 6.5%, buyers are more discerning, selective, and value driven. Buyers, you've got more inventory and you've got more negotiating power, but you also have more competition. So that means you're going to still have to move quickly until we get into these winter months when homes are likely going to be sitting for longer. And then your chances of getting what you want go up. So if you are looking for a price valuation or a curated list of homes that fit your criteria, give us a call. We'd love to help you out, or even sit down and grab a cup of coffee and talk about one of my favorite topics, real estate. Make your next move legendary. And we were, nope.